Alright folks, PW here once again. I'm going to take you on a little adventure real quick and we'll talk about a few things, and you're going to join me in buying my next piece of home theater equipment. Now, I just wanted to do this video before I tear everything down, unplug it all, hide all the wires, reset everything up, and run through the diagnostics and all that. And that's why I picked my mocked wiring setup and everything, and I got everything, real messy here now. So we'll get that taken care of, and I'll post all the videos. So one thing I want to point out here is I'm just on my laptop, just on my HP notebook, and I've got a basic, regular, cheap HDMI cable coming out of the HDMI output on the computer, going into the receiver. One of the cool things about that actually is if you're, trying to do streaming stuff or watch things in high definition that you don't have a device, or just don't have one in that room, or just simply don't want to buy one, you can pass an HDMI signal out of your laptop or desktop or whatever and run it through the receiver, and the receiver will perform the 4K upscaling and surround sound pass-through, most likely in PCM audio, but you're still going to get that, so you could access Netflix, Amazon Instant Video, Hulu, Shudder, great for horror movies, Screambox, any different kind of streaming service that way, or any, watch videos in surround sound and 4K upscaled, at least, that way. So I'm going to take you on a little adventure with me, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Internet Explorer app here. And before I do this, one quick thing I want to point out is a lot of people ask me about the video games that I'm going to be purchasing next, or what video games, and I gotta say, I'm really critical on the video games. There's not a lot that I buy. I don't like playing them too often, but when I do, I hope to buy a good game and that the game lasts. I'm stingy about spending $60 on a damn PlayStation 4 or Xbox game or whatever, so I rarely buy them, but the ones that I do, I like, so I bought the Battlefield 1, I got the Call of Duty, the entire series, of course, ever since it was on PlayStation 3. Got every, Call of Duty game. I like the war games, but the two games I'm, looking at next, guys, and a couple people had asked me about this, which games am I going to buy next? While I don't have the PlayStation Virtual Reality yet, I'll do a video on building a system in the dedicated theater where I do set up the PlayStation VR stuff at some point. So one thing I want to point out is that's definitely on pre-order for me. The World War II game, I hear that's going to have high dynamic range, Dolby Digital and all that. And this is just on the Dolby website, mind you. Keep in mind, we're at the actual Dolby website. It brought us over from Dolby to Sony here. So we're just at the Dolby website. And yeah, the next game that I get comes out, I believe, on November 3rd. It releases on November 3rd. I'm going to just run through. That's going to be a great game. Everybody knows the God of War series. So there's a few games coming out. The Uncharted series has done great. You can pick up like Uncharted 4 right now on Amazon for like $20-$30. So yeah, there's some good deals on games. I'm partial to the flying games as well, but, I don't like spending a lot of money on them, but the newer Ace Combat game is coming out soon, I believe, for PlayStation 4 and the other consoles, so that's going to be a pick that I'm going to have to choose at some point, but definitely the World War II on November 3rd. I'll do a review on that game and all that, but I've heard some amazing things about it. We can watch the video here really quick, but fast forward or skip this if you don't want to see this. But yeah, this is going to be the next game I'm going to be buying here. I got it in the Oro 3D with the power amp turned on. So yeah, enjoy this little video. And that's enough of that. Game looks great. There you go. You can see some previews of it. Looks wonderful. But that takes us to our next adventure. And I got a couple of things coming up soon, guys. A lot of things. Even going to be doing a video on how to buy an AVR, what to look for, what to pay, and yeah, buying it actually. But that brings us to the Emotiva website. And one of the things I want to do really quickly is point out some of the new products. So before we enter into the adventure of me buying my next piece of gear here, I just want to point out or show you guys, give you a little preview of what is new in the home theater world. And Emotiva has some new stuff out now. They've just started shipping their Gen 3 products out at this moment. They've got a few new BaseX products. The Emotiva, God, love those. Love the powered ones, the monitored speakers and all the Emotiva 5 and 6s. Those great speakers. But yeah, they got a few new products out now. I want to show you what those are. We can take a look at this video real quick, but I'm just going to run through this real fast. But yeah, guys, we've got some new Gen 3 products out now from Emotiva, and
the pioneer.
They're looking amazing. So join me on this little adventure, and we're gonna buy
tasked to create
my next
an
item here.
Indescribable audible experience with precision and delicacy. They're challenged to capture the texture and depth of exactly how audio should be: heard, enjoyed, savored. But only one brand brings the soothing harmonies together.
Of course, there's the Oppo UDP-203. Did you notice it there? Yep.
We are Emotiva. Craftsmen.
Usually you will see Marantz and Oppo in all the demos of any audio and video company.
Nights and early mornings, mastering our craft by exploring the endless
got my power amp right there.
Sonic perfection.
There it is.
And while others may accept just good enough, we're driven to uncover pure, honest, and precise sound.
Yeah, okay.
We're utilizing science to evoke the true emotion behind every note. And what we find worthy of the Emotiva name is tried and true. When you rethink high-end, you'll discover Emotiva.
All right, great. So that brings us to the next thing here, though. But I want to show you what's come out really quick before I buy my next thing. And yeah, it's going to take us to the X series, actually. Obviously, I'm not running through every product that Emotiva sells here. But yeah, let's take a look. There are some new things that just recently came out, and they are just starting to ship, too. So they just started around the 6th of October. But the first thing does not bring us to these products. They actually just changed up their website a little bit. But I will show you what is new. So this is actually brand new from Emotiva. They just changed their website around a little bit, but it is an 11-channel Generation 3 power amp from them. And I just want to quickly go over what this is. You can see here ships 10/15, so it's not shipping just yet, but soon. But yeah, it's an 11-channel version of the latest, greatest, modular power amplifier system that they make. And this is kind of unique. It features 3 of the 300-watt single-channel amplifier modules, and then 4 of the 75-watt 2-channel modules. So a total of 3 channels at 300 and 8 at 75. That's great. It's a little unique, and for the price, I can't go there just yet. I would love to, but not going there just yet, as it says, perfect for Dolby Atmos 7.1.4, 5.1.6 even. That's a new one, 5.1, so 6 overhead speakers or height speakers. Haven't gotten there yet. I've done a total of 5 so far. I haven't actually posted it, but yeah. So that's great. Let's check out the specs of this guy real quick. Now, when Emotiva lists power, they are listing it usually at all channels driven and at 8 ohms. They're not talking, with 2 channels driven only and at 4 to 6 ohms. They're always given proper 20 to 20, total harmonic distortion, check that out, 0.005% at 100 watts with 8 ohms. So they're not joking around when they list their power. Same damping factor, all of them on an 8 ohm load, 29 decibel gain on all those things. But yeah, so 53 pounds on that guy. 53 pounds. So a lot of the stuff is just starting to ship. Let's take a look at the next product I wanted you guys to see. So it's pretty easy to understand. Emotiva calls their XPA and then the channel number. So if it's an XPA 5, it's a 5 channel. An XPA 7, 7, and 9 and 9, 11, 11, so on and so forth. So it's easy to understand. Those are all new products. So as you can see, they're all starting to ship out, beginning of next week and all that. So hopefully we'll have something here soon, shortly. This is a 7-channel. This is great, and if we look at the price range of this, I'm only going to show you things here that I recommend using. And I can't actually take the plunge to do this right now, and for one reason and one reason only. I'm not running XLR balanced connections. XLR versus RCA, in my opinion, over short runs, they really don't make that much of a difference, in my opinion. Where they come in handy is long runs, real long runs in a dedicated home theater, in wall, through a lot of interference possibilities. The XLR balanced stuff really comes into play, but I'm all RCA here, and this is a great amplifier. Sitting at $2,000 a month. But if you notice, they do something where you can make monthly payments. I'm sure a little bit of interest on top of that, but with some good credit, maybe a 650 or above score, and you got payments you can make on Emotiva stuff. So that is great. That's cool. Let's just check out the specs of this one. This would be a great addition to any home theater to power all 7 speakers, and then maybe get a 2-channel or a 5-channel to run some heights or something like that. But yeah, this is great. I mean, if you take a look at this, guys, 300 watts per channel at 0.1 into 8. 300 watts. I mean, that's just crazy. And you look at all models, this is relevant to all of them. The front 2 channels rated power, 2 channels driven 20 to 20 at 0.1. 300. So all the XMC power amps are going to be very capable. So with all channels driven into 8 ohms, total harmonic distortion at 0.1, 200 RMS, root mean squared. So that's not messing around. But we're not just there yet, not until I'm doing the dedicated theater and finalizing it. But what and this isn't necessarily for this room, this item, but yeah, when we look at here, we can actually build our own modular amplifier system, and it's not outrageous amounts of money either, so that is really cool. So I just want to show you this as the last product I'm going to show you. It's new as the Gen 3 versions of the XPA power amps and stuff, and just looking at this stuff, it's amazing. Got the Class H soft switch power supply topology. That increases the efficiency, without heating them up too much, and normally they're at AB, and if you look here, all the benefits of a classic AB design, without the wasted heat, weight, and power of conventional fixed rail design. So that's amazing, but I think this would be great for a dedicated theater, not necessarily in this room. This is a pretty small room, so we're not needing so much that in here. Be great in dedicated home theater and all that, and we're something where you need a little bit more than 150, 200 watts. But yeah, just showing you what's new from Emotiva, some great things that I recommend. Now keep in mind, I've had a chance to hear and see all these in person. I'm not going to show you anything that I haven't actually seen. Check that out though. Yeah, 0.005 at 100 watts, 8 ohms. So these aren't messing around. But we're not there just yet. So just want to let you know that these guys are amazing. I've heard them. I've had a chance to play with them all. They are wonderful. But that brings us to the next thing I want to show you. This is new. It's not necessarily a brand new item from Emotiva, but it is new because they've got a version 3 HDMI upgrade now. A year ago, if you were to buy this guy, it would not be 4K Ultra HD compliant. Now it is. So if you're looking for a pre-pro processor type deal that'll run XLR balanced, I would have to go with this one, guys. Does Atmos, does DTSX. It's got the wonderful aesthetics to it, but the build quality is amazing. So if you're looking for a pre-pro, it's got the Direct Live, I believe, that beautiful brushed aluminum remote. Yep, Direct Live. So it's got onboard diagnostics you can do on a computer and whatnot. Then it says coming soon to the XMC one. So a year ago, you could not get this, even 6 months ago. You would have had to pay, I believe, off the top of my head, I think it's $500 you would have had to pay for the upgrade. But they'll do it now. So the final purchase price includes free factory upgrader, self-install kit at no charge. I would do the self one. A peace of mind, you're going to want the factory to do it. But yeah, so these are now doing Dolby Atmos and DTSX. So for $2,500, guys, this has got to be a killer system. Got to be a killer system. Hopefully someday I'll have a chance to actually look at it in person here and play with it at home, do a couple videos on it. I've seen it at all the audio fests and exhibitions and whatnot, so this is wonderful piece of equipment. But if you notice here, Atmos and ETSX enhancement is considered to be an optional upgrade. Yeah, so you would have had to pay full retail price for it and then pay in the full retail price. Because shipping is included in the cost, if you choose to purchase both, discount of $100 will be applied. So yeah, that's interesting. XMC1 owner. So if you've got an Emotiva XMC1 Pre-Pro, you can upgrade yours. Definitely. And then you can build the modular amplifier system. That is wonderful there. If we just look at the capabilities of it, 7.2. So that's why I'm not too hot on it. If this was 11.2, I'd jump all over it. I probably would spend the money or make monthly payments for it. But so 7 speakers and 2 subs it'll do. So if you're trying to run a real Atmos 7.2.4 like I'm running here, it's not going to do it for you, but it will pass through. And this is kind of the sad thing. On 1 input and 1 output. I'm sorry, but for my Marantz, for less money than that, we got 4K Ultra HD HDCP 2.2 on all inputs and outputs. We got 3 outputs on this guy, and 2 of them will upconvert and pass through it all. So, that's a little sad about this, but that's a downside. There is a few downsides. I'm saying there are a few downsides to the XMC1. One of the things too, if you don't, if you haven't noticed, you have to have a Ethernet connection straight to it. So a Cat5, Cat6e cable, Ethernet cable to it. That's the only downside really about the internet processing on these guys. No Wi-Fi. But look at that, 0005 at 1. That's insane, guys. 20 to 20, 002. So this would really bring up the quality of any audio system, in my opinion, and a hell of a lot. So it does do Atmos and DTSX. So this is a great one. It won't pass through all 4K video on all inputs and outputs, though. So that's unique. But yeah, I just wanted to show you this XMC1, guys. So that kind of brings us to an end on the preview of the X series of stuff. I mean, I can just kind of glide through them real quick and show you. I'm not going to cover really anything else on the X series. I'm not being paid by Emotiva to do this. I'm just kind of showing you the things that I recommend. However, that brings us to our adventure. So when we're going into products, I'm going to go to BaseX here. I'm really partial to this BaseX line, guys. It's extremely, and anything I buy, I want it to be efficient. I want it to be price or cost effective, meaning I'm trying to work off of a budget here. I'm not just spending insane amounts of money to get the best that I can get. I'm trying to budget, spend a decent amount of money, and make the best possible setup in terms of quality that I can humanly or physically get here. And after a lot of research and looking around, testing things, I've really found these to be some of the best. In my opinion, Emotiva does the best with audio. I wouldn't say they're the best with video, but that brings us to the MC700. A few people have asked about this. This is a great product. I have to highlight kind of the main downfall or downside of it, and that is, well, 7.1, so it won't do a second sub. But for a home theater processor, I'm sure this is a wonderful piece of equipment. One day we actually will have this in this room here to try out. It won't be going in the dedicated home theater, but I gotta recommend it at least. The only down